Hello, it's Tara. I am here with some exciting review news. I have seen Beauty and the Beast, and I'm here to tell you about it. Um, Beauty and the Beast has been out a week now, and let me kind of put this in perspective as far as what kind of film this is. Of course, Beauty and the Beast is live action, and it was put out by Disney. Supposedly, it was an estimated $160 million to make this film, and that's a lot of money. On the first weekend, they got 170. Excuse me, opening day. No, that's first weekend. They got 175 million from selling tickets to the film, and up to right now, which is Sunday, 26th. I think it's the 26th. Could be the 27th. I could look and see. Don't know what it'll do to my recording, but it is the 26th. So, here it is. They're up to $317 million. People are running to see this movie, and I don't blame them. It's a really great film. So, let me go over the cast. Of course, you know that Belle is being played by Emma Watson of Harry Potter fame. And she's good as Belle. She's a good Belle. I questioned if she was singing her own songs. And I looked around online and people said she was singing her own songs. I listened and I think she's probably singing, but her voice was enhanced maybe, which is probably pretty typical. But it's a sweet voice and it sounds like maybe Belle would sound like. So Dan Stevens, who's hunky, plays the Beast. And the Beast in this film is scary. I mean, my kids, if they were, my kids were raised on zombies and killer clowns from outer space. So, a beast, nothing. But if you have typical little kids that don't, and I didn't look and see, maybe they can't, I didn't look to see what it was rated, certainly not G. But he's pretty scary with his roars, and he's huge. And really, it was an interesting role for Dan Stevens. Luke Evans plays Gaston, and he's exactly like I pictured Gaston to be, just full of himself and handsome in like a pretty boy way, but not handsome like the Beast is handsome inside, if that makes any sense. He's got a good heart, even though he tries his best not to find it again and bring it out after what happens to him. And what happens is that when the movie opens, there's a problem with an enchantress, and she enchants everything in his castle, including him. And then he enchants the whole local village, so they forget about him. They don't even know he's there. I mean, talk about bad. And as you all know, everything in his home turns into an item. Like, for instance, my favorite is Mrs. Potts and Chip. And they're the teapot and the teacup and saucer, and mother and son. Their goal is we don't want to be teacups, and eventually there'll come a time that has to do with a rose that they will no longer have the option, that they will just always be an inanimate object that nobody ever remembers ever existed, which is sad. That's really sad. Think about it. Nobody ever remembers you. I need to talk about Josh Gad, who plays LeFou. Excuse me. I did a thing on how to pronounce it because I'm so bad at French words or any other words that ain't English. So, Josh is playing LeFou, and he's playing it as a gay man. He is supposedly the first gay character in Disney's history of animated and anyway, the first gay character in a Disney movie for kids. You know, get real. Yeah, he may be the first gay character. He's certainly not the first gay person on a Disney lot. So I just don't get all the rough edges of it. It just I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel. I just don't even think it was a big deal. Josh Gad he's hilarious. I love him. He is really funny. He's great as Gaston's sidekick, and I enjoyed his performance thoroughly, and it never occurred to me to worry about him being a gay character. So, and it was delightful to see Kevin Kline as Maurice, who is Belle's father. Kevin Kline is like an actor's actor. He can do anything. You know, he's classically trained. He can do comedy like A Fish Called Wanda. I loved him in soap opera. So he can do a lot of different films and performances, and he's good at all of it. And he was so special in this film. He just really was. He was a father trying to take care of a daughter who's without her mother and doing a really, really good job. Belle is just perfect. Of course, nobody's perfect, but Belle comes close. I love that they switched. Maurice is not the inventor. Belle really is. And she tries to make time during her washing of the clothes and doing whatever she has to do her favorite hobby, which is my favorite hobby, and that's reading books. So I appreciate that they've through this film, taught children that it's really cool to read books, even older books that maybe, you know, some of your friends wouldn't even know the titles of or the background of or anything. Pick up a book, because if you're in this world right now and you don't like it, but think you're stuck, you're not. Your escape is as close as the nearest library. Go there and find a book on your favorite subject, no matter what it is, and it'll be there at the library. So that's my PS for the day. Then the rest of the cast, I'm not going to tell you because you have to go. The inanimate objects that are actually people turned into inanimate objects are some pretty great big stars. One of them is one of my favorite actors. One of them is one of my favorite actresses. And I just think that you have to go and see the movie to find out. It's not up to me to do spoilers for you. So it's the same story, kind of. There's a reason Beauty has to go into the forest, and part of the forest in June, it's all snowed over, and there's wolves that would be more than happy to eat you. And she has to go back and forth actually a couple times, but she gets imprisoned at one point by the beast, and she actually it's actually touching what happens, but she is determined to escape. This woman is of one mindset, and when you set your mind on one thing, you're probably going to get it in one form or another, because there's nothing else to think or do about it. That's what you do. And she is she inadvertently finds the beast's rose, and he's of course hysterical, because once that last petal falls off, something happens that can't be reversed. So she kind of gets in trouble. She does get a nice room though, but she's still in trouble. But regardless, it's the story, but it's not the story. It's a story you'll love, I think. The castle itself, which of course is probably some rooms built into a sound stage, and then the rest is CGI, but so what? It's just beautiful. It's this beautiful castle, but it's dusty and dirty, and nobody's taking care of it. You know, Mrs. Potts does her best, but there's just, you know, there's just not a lot you can do when you're supposed to be a person and you're a teapot. And you know, there's a lot of love stories going in between that, you know, between one object and another, that they can never be together because one object is completely different and they're objects anyway, so that's silly. But this is Beauty and the Beast, Walt Disney's new live action. I hear that they have several on the I won't say back burner. They have several films. If they do it like Beauty and the Beast, as far as like doing a live action Little Mermaid, then who plays Ariel is going to go from one person to the next, to the next, to the next. I've read all over the place that, you know, other people were going to play Emma, and she ended up getting the role. And but there was like 10, 12, 14 people thought of before Miss Watson got the role. I'm glad she did, because she was very good. She made it worth all our times, all of our time and money to go see her. If you are going to go see this at the theater, I would say 3D is a good way to go. I don't know about the IMAX 3D. We just saw it in regular, you know, regular film, because I usually save 3D for things like, you know, like big films, like Independence Day 2, which was a mistake to even go see, but we did, and we saw it, and blah. Yeah. So anyways, this is a good film. And I would give it, I've stopped giving stars because they're annoying, so I give it like an 85%, and where I took away 15% is, it's a little long, that I wanted more songs. The songs are beautiful, but I wanted more of them. The people in the village, I know they're supposed to, so I guess that's not going to come off for them. They're just snipey and snarky and cheeky. But all in all, it's a strong 85. Might go up to 90. I don't know. When I put it on the site, I'll have to see what I think. Bill Condon is the director, and I just need to tell you, Bill Condon directed a movie called God and Monsters, which, if you haven't seen it, if you're an adult, go and see. It also has a gay theme. It has, not also has, but it does have a gay theme. It is about the man who directed Frankenstein, and it's not a action shoot 'em up, anything like that. It's totally a piece on people and their, you know, people and how they act in certain situations. It's a lovely film. So yeah, there. Anyways, I need to go because I have a new review of a new zombie film that will knock your socks off. Little kids watching this, don't watch this zombie film. Anyways, thank you so much. This is Tara from Tara's Independent Voice on YouTube. I tried to, no, that didn't work. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.